Hello again, people. It's Charlie, and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope everyone is doing all right today, as always. So then, guys, it's the night before the Burnley game, so you know what time it is. It's time for the pre-match thoughts video for Burnley against Leeds, which is taking place at Turf Moor tomorrow afternoon. So then, guys, just before we get into it, as always, the message is going to be the same. Please smash the like button. Please subscribe and share your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. And let's get into it. So then, guys, first of all, I just thought I'd touch upon the good things that we could take from the Everton game, which was our last league game at Ellen Road. Atmosphere was unreal. Everton fans were a tad boring. Sorry, Everton fans, but that's just facts. The Crew fans in Cup were much better. But anyway, in terms of our performance, definitely a huge improvement from the scum game at Old Trafford. But let's be honest, anything would have been better than that because that was just a bad day at the office. Let's just put it that way. Thought some individual performances that were great. Obviously, the likes of Rafinha, who scored a beautiful equaliser, took that goal really well. I thought Clicky had an amazing game as well in that midfield. And I thought Patrick Bamford led the line very well, as he always does. The press was back, the intensity was there, and it felt like Bielsa ball was back well and truly. I thought the defence was good. Obviously, we had the minor moment where Cooper gives away the penalty. Sorry, nearly said free kick then. I wish. But yeah, the penalty, which at the time in the ground, I was like, nah, that's never a penalty, disgrace. And, but watch match it day that night. And yeah, it definitely is a penalty. So that was unfortunate. For Pascal was sound. Meslier, I don't think was at fault for obviously the penalty is what it is. I think the second goal in that game from Damari Gray wasn't Mellier's fault. In fact, I think Dallas should have done better. But overall, it was a much improved game from Leeds. Hopefully, this Burnley game is even better. I think, obviously, no disrespect to Burnley, but I think Everton are a better side. So hopefully we can go to Turf Moor and we can silence that crowd and hopefully put on another great display. So then, guys, up next, let's touch upon Burnley then. So Burnley have had a tough start season as well. Not quite as bad as our start. Obviously, we did manage to get a point against Everton. Burnley are still yet to get a point, having lost their first two games of this season, losing 2-1 to Brighton at home, and then losing out 2-0 at Anfield against Liverpool. I think obviously the Brighton game could have gone either way in terms of the team that they were playing against. They're around a similar level, if I'm honest. But the game at Anfield, I mean, it was inevitable that they were going to lose that one. I think it was just a matter of by how many goals. I think 2-0 is actually not the worst result Burnley could have got. I think it could have been a lot worse. Burnley, as we all know, they like to play the rigid 4-4-2. I think it was the first time in quite a while that each player was like 1 to 11 in their team, which I found quite interesting. But it's the typical Sean Dyche way in it 4-4-2 with big Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes up front, who I think are two very important players for Burnley. Chris Wood hasn't got off of the mark yet, but Leeds fans know all too well of Chris Wood's abilities. And, hopefully our back four or back three or whatever Bielsa goes with will be able to contain him and Ashley Barnes. I think defensively, I'm wary of obviously their back four is quite solid, if I'm honest. I think it's Matt Loughton at right back, yeah, and then there's obviously Ben Mee and James Tarkowski. and Charlie Taylor, who Leeds know very well as well at left back. So they've got good players, obviously, the likes of Dwight McNeil, Josh Brownhill, who Leeds have been linked with during this transfer window as well. They have got good players individually, but for some reason it just doesn't seem to be clicking for them at the moment, which is music to my ears going into a game against them. We'll get into my score prediction at the end, guys, but I'm expecting a very convincing Leeds victory. Let's put it that way. I think the defence, as solid as it is, I think they are there to be got at as well. We saw at Turf Moor last season when we beat them 4-0 that they were quite easy to catch on the counter attack, which is where I think our players will need to be bang at it in terms of the counter. I think on counter attack they are definitely there to be got at. But at the same time, it could go either way. It could be a Leeds riot, or it could be a very, very tight affair and just not a great watch, as we saw at Ellen Road against them last season, which, yes, we beat them 1-0, but that was an awful watch from our point of view. How Burnley didn't get at least a draw out of that game is beyond me. So, yeah, guys, that's just my thoughts briefly on Burnley and their key players. Hopefully, Leeds can put a stop to their important playmakers. So then, guys, let's talk about the Leeds point of view then. Who needs to be on their A game for Leeds against Burnley? For me, probably obvious ones, but KP in that midfield. I think if he wins that midfield battle, then we're halfway there in terms of getting a win. We saw, even against Crewe in Cup overnight, we saw how important it is that KP is on that pitch. You can just tell that there's a certain calmness and collected. So then, guys, next up, let's just talk about the Leeds perspective then. Who needs to be on their A game for Leeds United to get a victory at Turf Moor? Firstly, Calvin Phillips. I know it sounds like an obvious one, but as we say nearly all the time, Calvin Phillips is the most important player on that pitch. He's integral to how we play. He starts off our counter attacks by pinging the balls out left and right, breaks up the opposition's attacks with some good challenges, and is really good defensively. And you can just tell when he's playing in that role. Against Man United, when Koch was there, you could just tell that KP isn't on that pitch. Koch looked so lost in that game, and I actually feel a bit sorry for him that he was thrown into a position that he's clearly not ready for. It's such a unique role, and I think Calvin is one of the best players in this league in that particular role. So yeah, he will be vital in this game. I think our wingers, Harrison and Rafa, need to be 100% at it. We saw a much improved game from Jack Harrison against Crewe. Yes, I know it's Crewe, but he was outstanding. And if he plays half as good as that on Sunday, he'll be absolutely fine. Rafinha needs to bag himself some more worldy of goals. I think Charlie Taylor's definitely there to be got at. In the game at Turf Moor, I think the only thing that was a negative for Leeds that day is that Charlie Taylor got the better of Rafinha, which he will not want a repeat of. So hopefully he can put that right and get the better of Charlie Taylor this time, which I think he's more than capable of. And finally, I think Patrick Bamford will be key as well. Just got an England call up. He's signed a new 5-year deal. What a way to end off his week by getting on the score sheet for his first goal of the season against Burnley, which I think he's destined for now. I think he will definitely get a goal tomorrow afternoon. Our defence needs to be key as well. Obviously, hopefully, Diego Llorente will play. Bielsa has said that he is fit to play 90 minutes. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that means that he will be back in. And it will be him and Pascal at centre-back, which for me is our best centre-back pairing, guys. So then, guys, in terms of the starting 11, I think there's only going to be one change to the team that played against Everton for me. So we'll start off, obviously, in goal. It's the Iceman himself, Mr. Elan Melier. At right back, we've got Bill Ayling, and a centre-back partnership of Pascal Strike and Diego Llorente. I think he will start because, for me, he is our best centre-half. Again, similar to Calvin in a sense that when he's not on the pitch, you can tell. Against Crew in that first half, yes, I know it's Crew once again, but he just controlled it and so cool and calm under pressure. So yeah, for me, Diego Llorente comes back in, and then Firpo at left back, Calvin in the holding role as always, with Rafinha on the right. Centre midfield partnership of Leeds born Stuart Dallas and Mateus Click, with Jack Harrison on the left, and then leading the line, it's newly called up England international Patrick Bamford. As I said in the previous bit there, guys, I think Bamford is destined for a goal this week. He's had an amazing week. He's signed a new 5-year deal. He's been called up to England squad for the first time. And for me, he gets his first goal of this season against Burnley. So yeah, guys, that is my predicted 11 for the Burnley game tomorrow. So then, guys, finally, to end this video off, I will give you my score prediction for this game. So my score prediction for Burnley against Leeds is Burnley 0, Leeds 3. I think we will beat them by 3-0. Goals from Bamford, Dallas, and Rafinha. Maybe not in that order, but I think they'll be the 3 goal scorers, and I think we get our first clean sheet of the Premier League season. For me, if Llorente and Strike are back, we coped well with Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes at Turf Moor last season. Yes, the fans weren't there, but I don't think that's going to be a factor in this game at all. I think we've got too much firepower for them, and I think we will easily win this game. So then, guys, that is the end of this video for today. As I said at the beginning, please smash the like button. Please subscribe and share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. And I will see you in my post-match reaction after the game tomorrow, guys. Thank you very much.